So I've been asked about cancer vaccines. I've just come from a debate where I took the no position, and I've said, we don't need cancer vaccines. It was an exercise in rhetorical skill because I believe very wholeheartedly in cancer vaccines, and I think that they are going to become an essential fourth arm of the armamentarium against cancer. I think that we're just learning which targets to choose in a patient's cancer. And I believe that the patient-specific mutations, the subset of mutations expressed in a patient's tumor that can be recognized by their own immune system as neoantigens, are probably the best targets that will provide the most medicines for the most patients. I believe that we're at the baby steps of understanding which mutations are neoantigens. It's largely being done by prediction. People apply a single feature, that is predicted MHC binding, as the lens through which mutations are judged to be neoantigens. Our approach that we've done for a number of years at La Jolla Institute and UCSD School of Medicine is completely different. It's HLA agnostic. We don't try and identify any predicted binding, and we simply look in the patient's blood for the presence of pre-existing spontaneous T cells against that patient's tumor. And although these were thought to be incredibly rare and hard to find, using a different approach, we find them in virtually every patient of every histology that we've looked at. So the message for medical oncologists that I would give is all of your patients have a cohort of potentially therapeutic T cells in their peripheral blood, which if properly marshaled, would attack the tumor and could represent a beneficial therapeutic effect. Because so many things are going to change and the incoming administration seems so focused on disrupting existing institutions, all of us in the field at the clinical translation and basic research side are very concerned. Some of the picks that have been suggested as heading the HHS, the FDA, the National Institutes of Health are very concerning because of the public statements made by these individuals and the fact that they don't have a lot of experience in doing the job that really demands an even keeled person with a steady hand on the rudder, because the NIH, for instance, is the jewel in the crown of the federal government, and the advances that have been made for the benefit of worldwide human health from the NIH are really unparalleled in any other country. And so changing that or closing institutions or all of the rumors that we've heard are very concerning. What I hope happens under the Trump administration, if their intent is really to streamline and focus funding where it's going to make the most difference, I think we're aligned in that. And my field of cancer is something that continues to kill 1.6, 1.7 million people per year in the US, which in aggregate is much more than COVID has. And I think that we are not at the threshold of an immunotherapy revolution. We're in the doorway and admiring the carpet. And so focusing on the approaches that have the most benefit for the most patients, and I will say the V word, vaccines are going to be part of that. And I just think that is where the winning streak could continue for the benefit of the Trump administration. And basic research is absolutely part of that. You can't fail to plant seeds that will take root and bear fruit later. And so I hope what happens with the Trump administration is that they see the beauty and the benefit of what is already existing, and they choose to foster continued growth for the benefit of all of Americans and all people worldwide.